Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into solutions to financial worries and principles for a contented life. Now, I want to be clear right up front. This content is based entirely on the original Hindi literature, specifically the book Arthik Chintaon Ka Samadhan by Pundit Shri Ram Sharma Acharya ji. What we're unpacking here is a timeless blueprint. It's designed to guide us out of the heavy, suffocating depths of financial anxiety and into a state of absolute unshakable peace. So if you've ever felt completely crushed by the modern pressure to earn more, buy more, and, well, just show off more, you are in the exact right place. Let's uncover these deeply transformative principles together. Right off the bat, we're faced with a massive paradox. Think about it for a second. Our ancestors lived with vastly fewer resources, no modern technology, highly limited incomes, yet they actually experienced abundant joy and peace. Fast forward to today, we're surrounded by boundless resources, advanced comforts, much higher incomes, and yet we are completely bogged down by endless agonizing worry. So why is this happening? Well, the literature points out that modern civilization has violently dragged our minds toward luxury, artificial needs, and superficial display. And that creates this constant restless feeling of scarcity no matter how much we actually have. Okay, let's jump into section 1, the root cause of financial worry. Let's unmask the mind's burden and figure out exactly how this mental trap works. To begin our journey toward true peace, we have to address the absolute root of our financial anxieties. Actually, to do this, we need to completely shift our focus away from our bank accounts, our possessions, our jobs, and instead look deeply into our own minds. Because financial worry isn't really about the math. It's a meticulously crafted mental trap. Now, the text acknowledges that having passing anxieties is natural for any responsible person. But sitting with them, obsessing over them, and letting them just churn in your mind, that is where the real danger lies. The crucial point here, drawn directly from the text, is this. Worry is like a fire. Giving it the fuel of constant thought only makes it grow. Dwelling on feelings of poverty doesn't increase your income by a single penny. What it does do, for sure, is burn away your mental peace, your physical health, and your potential for the future. When we stop handing our worries that fuel, the fire naturally starves. You know, the literature teaches us something fascinating. Poverty is very often not an actual lack of basic needs, like simple food or shelter. Instead, it's a mental obsession with what we don't possess. When we're constantly agonizing over not having a bigger house or a fancier vehicle or the absolute latest clothes, we're basically building a self-made prison of despair. It really asks us to pause and question, are we truly poor or have our unchecked desires just totally outgrown our reality? Moving right along to section 2, the trap of envy and show-off. We're going to look at the illusion of modern scarcity and the venom of comparison. There is a stark, undeniable contrast we have to face. On one hand, we have the simple, contented life of our ancestors. They lived well within their limits, ate simple food, dressed modestly, and were happy. On the other hand, look at modern man's anxious chase. Today, this endless pursuit of luxury creates a perpetual feeling that we are financially suffocating. We desperately want to show off. We throw expensive parties just to prove our social worth, buying things literally just because our peers have them, entirely forgetting what we actually need. This restlessness completely destroys our inner harmony. The text explicitly warns us about this, stating, seeing a neighbor's house or clothes and feeling inadequate breeds the toxic illusion of poverty. Think about that. If your financial worry stems from jealousy over someone else's lifestyle, you are essentially consuming poison. It's a venom that will destroy your worldly life and wreck your spiritual well-being. True poverty isn't a low bank balance, it's this unquenchable feeling of endless envy and that constant draining need to compare. All right, section 3, the importance of simplicity and contentment. Let's talk about how we reclaim our natural, original state of inner peace. Redefining what it means to be truly wealthy is absolutely essential here. Our natural state is supposed to be one of light, simplicity, and peace, not this endless craving and societal competition. The text emphasizes a profoundly comforting truth, especially for parents. It states, high moral character is the greatest wealth. So if you can't provide top-tier education or vast financial wealth to your children because of a limited income, do not despair. Giving them a high moral character through your own honest example is far superior to any financial inheritance you could leave behind. Money comes and goes, but a child raised with strong values will navigate any economic hardship with grace, and they'll naturally earn the respect of society. And it applies to relationships too. As this beautiful quote says, "A true wife desires love and respect. In a peaceful home, simple clothes shine like lightning." Genuine family happiness comes from mutual respect, unconditional love, and a pure heart. When you have that spiritual foundation, all the expensive jewelry and designer clothes just become completely unnecessary. A humble home filled with pure love naturally transforms into a vibrant corner of heaven. Which brings us to Section 4, Hard Work and Honest Earning. This is the unbreakable foundation of lasting prosperity. Moving forward, the literature grounds these spiritual truths in highly practical action, starting with exactly how we earn our daily bread. The dignity of honest labor is everything. True wealth isn't just about the sheer volume of money you pile up. It is intricately tied to the honesty of how you got it in the first place. So, why do shortcuts to wealth always fail? Well, the text firmly states, ill-gotten wealth is the mark of destruction. Wealth earned through deception, gambling, or without honest labor is just going to invite chaos, disease, and unrest right into your living room. Conversely, honest money, no matter how small the amount, brings absolute stability, deep peace, and long-term prosperity. Honesty truly breeds harmony. Section 5, Family Budget and Frugality. Now it's time to lay out some highly practical steps for keeping that financial harmony. Earning, honestly, that's only half the battle. We have to transition from the act of earning to the vital act of managing. The text offers incredibly actionable advice on frugality, highlighting the absolute necessity of a strict family budget. A disciplined approach continuously nourishes your household without ever overflowing into chaos. The author uses a fantastic analogy here. Once a family budget is carefully made, the text declares, a family budget must be respected and followed as strictly as a country's constitution. Think about it. You don't just rewrite a nation's laws every time a new temptation pops up, right? You shouldn't do that with your finances either. This strict adherence ensures that no impulsive emotional purchase destroys the family's hard-earned peace. Even if things are tight right now, and you can only manage to save one single rupee out of 100, the literature stresses that maintaining this unyielding discipline is what truly matters. The ingrained habit of saving, the raw power of the discipline itself, is actually far more valuable in the grand scheme of life than the specific numerical amount you save. It builds an unshakable mindset of security. So how do we put this into practice? Step 1. Involve the whole family in making the budget. Every responsible member needs a say. Step 2. Ruthlessly cut out luxury, intoxicants, and those empty show-off expenses that just drain your health and your wealth. And Step 3. Stick to the rules with absolute honesty. When the entire family fully understands the limits and actively agrees to cut the fluff, a profound sense of selfless sacrifice and unity is born. Everyone becomes a guardian of the family's peace. Let's wrap things up with Section 6, Complete Summary. Here are the ultimate takeaways for a fully contented life. We've journeyed all the way from the dark, stormy clouds of mental worry straight into the radiant light of disciplined, peaceful living. To summarize this brilliant blueprint for contentment, first, stop fueling the fire of worry with constant obsessive thought. Just let it burn out. Second, completely abandon the toxic trap of envy and the exhausting need to show off to society. Third, choose to earn honestly and proudly embrace a simple, highly moral life. And finally, run a united, strict family budget, treating it like an unbreakable constitution. By applying these profound steps, we literally transform a modest house into a prosperous paradise. I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to carry with you today. If true wealth is simply a contented mind, how rich are you choosing to be right now? The literature reminds us that inner contentment is the ultimate currency. So, the absolute power to be infinitely wealthy doesn't lie in a bank vault, and it definitely doesn't lie in comparing yourself to others. It rests entirely in your own mind starting today. Thank you for joining me in exploring these incredible principles.